Okay, I'd like to call the Personnel Committee meeting to order. Is there any courtesy of the floor? Seeing none, we review the personnel request from the District Attorney's Office. We'll start with the first one. Upgrade 5 full-time Assistant District Attorney, 1 positions. And Mr. Barata is here.
All right, they were new employees who came in, and they've been very good employees. They've done a ton of work, and we're basically current in our inventory because they've gone above and beyond, and I want to reward them by giving them a raise for their first year.
All right, is there any questions for Mr. Barata?
Are you able to just talk about maybe the above and beyond of what they've actually done in terms of their responsibilities? Because obviously, I think a lot of folks on this council
Just from staffing, we're continuing to build our staff. We still have 5 openings for lawyers. But when they first came in, we had, at one point, I think 12 full-time DAs and 3 part-time DAs. And then we continued to build. And with that low number, we still went through an incredible backlog. We tried a lot of cases this past year. We have a lot of cases. We still have a backlog with trial inventory, meaning cases that are destined for trial right now, and we're having some problems getting courtrooms with the judges so we can get those cases tried. But for the most part now, when a case comes into our office at arraignment, we feel very comfortable that any case is going to be resolved within a year, which is a big change from how it used to be in our office. And that was always a goal of mine, except for these complex murder cases and things like that. Just about any case that comes into our office should be resolved within a year, and we're at that point now.
That's great. I mean, we talked like extra time
Right.
that they're putting into
we're
various
doing,
cases.
and we're doing new stuff. We're going to start an auto theft task force. We applied for a grant, and we got monies. That's going to expand the kind of stuff we've been doing. Our drug task force has been very active in the community. You just saw that we had a raid at various smoke shops that were selling contraband to children in schools, and you know, that was a big operation of ours, and we're going to be caught up in that and further investigating that for a while. So we've done some pretty good things. I'm proud of the fact that we've started a central court for DUI, and our DUIs are done quickly. Most DUIs are getting resolved at first touch in central court as far as ARD or the alternative sentencing program. We're moving inventory quickly, and it's all because, you know, I sat down with my senior staff and we tried to revamp it, and the line staff has really taken charge, and they've done very well. I'm very proud of everyone in our office right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Barata, very good on those vape shops. That was a very good investigation.
Well, we got complaints from schools that kids sometimes are getting sick. They're having difficulty negotiating during the day because they've, you know, vaped something or took an edible that turned out to have controlled substances in it, meaning THC above and beyond the legal limit for the Delta 8. And also there are some other funny chemicals that are in there as well that the kids are having, you know, physical reactions to, being sick and things like that. And it got to be a real problem. For a while now, I've been talking about we need to make a statement about this and try to make it safer. And unfortunately, a lot of these smoke shops are located near schools because, you know, a lot of the clientele are kids.
Good job.
Not good.
Yeah, good. All right, go ahead.
So forgive me for making you repeat yourself, but you said that, did I hear you correctly when you said you started this year with 12 FTEs and 3 part-times? Did I misunderstand that? Or is that what it was when you first came in?
When I first came in, yes.
Okay.
And we've been building since then. Right now, we have 5 open positions. I think 1 senior deputy district attorney 3 deputy district attorneys, and 1 assistant district attorney. I have 2 law students who we've extended offers to, and when they pass the bar, we'll have a spot for them. That'll be at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. And I still would like to get another senior person. I have some other concerns too. There's a possibility I could lose my first assistant, who is an animal when it comes to moving inventory and doing work. He is virtually in my office every day of the week, including Saturday and Sunday. Bob Iyer is a hard worker and an intelligent guy, and if he's fortunate enough to win, it's going to be a big loss, but I also have to replace him as well. And Ellen Kingsley is also running for the Plainfield Township MDJ spot.
sense, yeah.
And she might win as well, and we'll lose her, which will be another big loss, because she's a chief of our domestic violence unit right now. But they're all good people, and I'm proud that they have an opportunity to move on in their career.
Do you think Mr. Iyer would appreciate your reference to him as being an animal?
Well,
Kidding, I understood the context. I'm still back at the numbers, though, and just, so, I mean, because when you came in, you had the right to restructure.
Yes.
So either, where are you exactly now, number-wise, or what's your vision for a total complement? Because I know we kind of asked you that at the beginning, and it's hard to foresee when you first take a job, but you're about a year and a half in. So, like, what will it look like when it's good? And, you know,
Well-
let's not anticipate anybody else leaving at this time.
Right.
Just the vision and landscape of what you would like it to look like.
Well, ultimately, I've always pledged through my first 2 years that I would remain within my budget with regard to staffing. And I'm going to continue to do so, including through the rest of this year, and I would expect next year as well. Our staff in comparison to other counties is rather lean, but that's okay. I mean, I think it's better, and that's good governance to be efficient and lean with your resources. But there's a few more things I like to do out in the community besides task force. I also want to be involved in community engagement, and we're working towards that. That's going to be an important part, and I don't think the district attorney has had a history of much by way of community engagement. And we've spoken a little bit. Some of that will be with regard to children and drugs and supporting kids in high school and trying to give them, role models and services where, because unfortunately, when children offend, even minor juvenile matters, if they offend several times, they tend to also move into the adulthood and also offend. And you need to get to those kids, and you need to try to help them to become productive. We're actively involved in the IMPACT program right now. That's doing well. It's continuing to do well. I think there's more programming that we can have to try to help to keep the kids out of the system, because that's important in the long run. So it takes a little bit of creativity, and it takes a lot of manpower if you're going to dedicate resources to trying to help students. But that's my sort of long-term goal. Within another year or so, I want to start moving in that direction if I'm able to.
And could you speak a little bit, you mentioned this money that you were able to get, this task force
Yes.
money? Can you talk about that, or?
It comes from, there's a nonprofit conglomeration of insurance companies that when you pay your auto insurance, a small percentage of that you pay goes into this nonprofit that supports auto theft task force around the state. There are about 5 active task force right now: Lehigh, Bucks, Montgomery, might be 6, Allegheny, Philadelphia, and I think Chester. We did not have one. We were supposed to be partnered with Lehigh County, but there really wasn't much interaction. And as you can see, there was just an arrest we made yesterday with the chop shop. this is getting to be a more active area of law enforcement right now, the stolen cars. I'm spending about $90,000 this year out of my drug task force monies to put license plate readers around the county. I am meeting with Warren County. I'm also going to meet with Monroe County to talk about some joint operations with regard to tracking stolen cars and the chop shop things. And these license plate readers will be very important with regard to tracking stolen cars. Lehigh County has a much more vibrant a situation there. Just about any street you're on in Allentown likely is going to be, at some point, they're going to have a license plate reader right there so they can track these cars, and the technology is incredible. These license plate readers can pick up license plates just as they drive by in the normal course of business from every car that goes by. And once you load up a stolen car or just a description of a car, they'll find, and also a license plate. And we think we'll be able to track and recover more of our stolen vehicles with that. And we're signing a contract with Flock Industries next month. And I've been also meeting with various local police departments who are going to also buy into our contract so we can have an even better coverage. But we're going to hit the major thoroughfares with people coming in and out of Northampton County. And of course, Bethlehem and Easton, there'll be some concentrated license plate readers there as well. And they already have some, the individual police departments anyway.
So that money was able to allocate some salary?
Yes, it's salary. It will only
All
be
salary.
dedicated to salary, yes. Yes, and we've pledged to dedicate a full-time DA and a full-time county detective to that task force. That was part of our grant submission. So that money will come in and go into the general fund to be allocated for salaries.
So then you're saying that you have the money within your budget to continue to make these changes at this time?
Yes. I do not foresee, I'll make changes and come to you, but I don't foresee ever asking you to extend my budget numbers. And if it has to be done, I'm going to have to wait and do it through the budget process. That's the way you're supposed to do it. I have to live within my budget. Oh, excuse me. I have to live within my budget, and I'm definitely going to do that.
Okay, you might have beaten Peg Farrar for the most unique ring that I've heard on county council. No, I want to support this, and I just think it's interesting to hear, like how your vision is for this department and what you want to do and how we can support that. So that's why I'm asking. I'm not trying to be a pain. And we have
Ms.
courts and
Fargo,
corrections.
We spoke before, too, about, can we do more with the opioid funding with regard to getting boots on the street? Because,
That's a
treatment issues a
conversation we
big
need to
issue.
have
I mean,
further.
Yeah, we're doing very well with the messaging, but there's an awful lot of money there, and, maybe it should be touching individual people that need the help. And I don't know that we're saving lives with Narcan, obviously, and we're delivering messages, but there might be more that could be done, and I'm happy to sit down at the table and talk about that.
Yep, I think it's
Sounds
good.
good to me.
Quick comment, do you mind?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say I'm so supportive of the Stolen Vehicle Task Force, which you just outlined. I think it's fantastic. If there's any time that our county government or any offices here are able to utilize technology to combat crime in this day and age here in 2025, I think it's a fantastic endeavor and initiative. Very much support it, Mr. District Attorney.
We're hopeful we're going to be very effective, and, because it's a grant, we have to report our findings and make them available, so,
Great
I'm looking
job.
forward to,
Yeah, great job with it.
bragging about that. We'll see, though.
Yeah, very good. Any other questions?
Do we need a motion to move this forward? So I'll move that.
All righty. Next up is eliminate 2 full-time clerical technician, 3 positions, and create 1 full-time case management assistant administrator / data analysis position, and create 1 full-time paralegal / clerical specialist position.
Let me tell you overall what I'm doing. I have a series of administrative staff, the clerical specialists, and I also have 3 clerical tech positions. Ultimately, what I want to do is eliminate 2 clerical tech positions. I want to create 2 other positions, one for a paralegal. One of my staff recently graduated from Northampton County with her paralegal degree, and we're going to make her more active with regard to our file management, discovery, redacting discovery, helping our lawyers with PowerPoint, because we are using technology a lot more in the courtrooms, and some of the older lawyers can always use more support when they're working with technology. And then the other one is Kathleen Coulter, who was a line staff secretary, is now assigned to do our software. We had an outdated software management system, and I think Mr. Spadoni would know that, PMS. It's been used forever. PMS, we still have that, and we looked around about upgrading our software, and we got proposals between $50,000 and $150,000 to come in with new software. However, this lady who has a history of supply chain logistics and things of that nature, she worked for Brother International for about 18 years, talked about what she thought were some hidden abilities within PMS. And the guy that runs it, Jim Beck, and Bob Mace have been meeting with us, and we're expanding from within our office the capabilities of PMS, and it's really pretty impressive what it can do. And you're laughing about that, but I'm telling you, talk to Bob Mace, because
It
I
might
think
be
he
the
was really
letters that you're using, I don't know.
Oh, PMS, yeah, it's prosecutorial management system.
There you
But,
go.
I know, but anyway, it's pretty impressive, and she's doing that on her own. We've dedicated her right now, and she's working on that. Probably she'll be working on that for another 2 or 3 months, but she'll have to maintain the system and upgrade it and things like that. She'll be very valuable, and to promote her to a new position and give her a few $1,000s, knowing that we're saving the initial payment of $50,000 to $150,000, and then the yearly expense to maintain the
Maintenance, right.
systems. We're going to make out like bandits, quite frankly, with regard to our software. And Bob Mace has been very supportive of what we're doing, and this guy named Jim Beck, who I guess works as a subcontractor for our IT department and runs PMS, have been very helpful, and they're very excited about how we think we can expand the system.
That's
So
good.
those are the 2 positions I'm creating. I still want to keep the same amount of secretarial staff. I have 1 opening right now. I don't think I need to fill that. So if you grant this request, I'm going to lose 2 clerical tech positions for the 2 new positions we're creating, and I'll still have available, in case we need it, another clerical specialist. And those women have done a great job for us as well, because you can't move your inventory without the support of those administrative assistants, because it all has to be tracked and accounted for and filed and mailed out and everything else, so.
Any questions on those? Creed.
Motion to move forward?
Forward, okay. The next item is upgrade 1 full-time office supervisor position, upgrade 1 full-time administrative assistant position. Okay.
That would be the paralegal, and that would be the software person.
Oh, okay, those 2, okay. And then the last item would be upgrade one full-time child abuse coordinator / victim advocate position.
These are grant monies. These positions are fully funded by the RASA grant. We have we had a full-time supervisor of that unit. She was caught up in that overtime debacle. She's gone, and her assistant has personal issues in her family, and she's going to move on and leave and retire. I hired a lady from Crime Victims Council who's been involved in this work for years. And the second lady I hired was from Graysdale. She's a patient advocate. Darcy Lovelorn. She was really an energetic and very dedicated person with regard to advocating for her patients at Graysdale, and I know she'll be very good at working in our office. And she was a seamless transfer. But the problem with her is she's not going to be the supervisor. She's going to be the assistant. She doesn't have any history with the criminal side and other services and the court support and all that other stuff. But she's going to be fine in the office. The lady who's coming from Crime Victims Council does have all the experience, the grant writing, everything that we need to run the office. Ileana is going to be a good director for us. Unfortunately, RG had been at Graysdale for a while. She was slotted to come in at $58,000, and I want to pay Ileana, who's going to be her supervisor and running the office, and the person who's going to help train this lady, paid at least the same amount. So I'm asking that they both be paid the same because RG, moving her over, I didn't realize it, and I didn't ask her questions about what she made and how that worked. And after I extended her the offer and I spoke with Ms. Chrisman, I learned that I had to pay her $58,000. So I think her supervisor should at least get that much money. That's why I'm asking to pay both ladies $58,000, which is still less than the two ladies that they're replacing anyway. So we're going to have $2 extra thousand in grant funding by hiring these people anyway. So it's not going to cause any financial hardship at all to the county.
Questions for Mr. Brown?
Motion to move forward.
That's all I have for the district attorney.
I have one question that's
Yes.
not on here, just because, you have a child abuse coordinator, victim advocate. Do you have any dedication on your staff to elder abuse at the other end of the life spectrum? Because I know we do focus on children because of
Those victims would be part of the office. It's
just
same group,
general.
yes. Crime Victims Council and our Victims Advocate service children, adults, and the elderly.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Yep, thank you.
Any other, anything else other for the personnel? Then I'll have a motion for adjourn.
Moved.
All right.